What's up, everybody? Joshua with Oh I Had That Here, back again for another installment. This time I wanted to talk about books from our childhood, from the 80s and early 90s. That was these cool square storybooks that covered our favorite cartoons, movies, television shows, even books inspired by our favorite toys, man. But these storybooks run the gamut, and you remember them. You had a million of these floating around your home, and I just wanted to go through one stack. I have several stacks of these books, but this one in particular, full of nostalgia from top to bottom, and I wanted to go through these with you and see if any of these strike any nostalgic memories for you. I started grabbing these at thrift stores over the years, probably dating back to 2017 or so. Started grabbing these when I saw them, and I just have amassed a pretty solid collection of these storybooks, I must say. But the first one on the pile here, you love this cartoon in the 80s. You love the toys, Mask. That is Mask Mission Meteor. And this story, the illustrations, in these books are just so awesome. Not only because it's a toy line and a show that we love, but just the detail within a children's book. Like, all of these the illustrations are so detailed. The stories are interesting. Some of these, though, it's like, what age did they expect to be reading these? Because some of them are like actual novels inside of these little storybooks. But we got every Mask. This one is GoBots. GoBots on Earth. Now, were you a fan of GoBots? I was more of a Transformers fan, but GoBots definitely has its community that love and collect GoBots and the merchandise. So GoBots, Mighty Robots, Mighty Vehicles. And this one is a little bit more cartoonish, a little more simplistic in illustration than the Mask drawings were, but still a really cool book to have in this collection and read through. I know my own son loves leafing through these and looking at the stories. Now, this one is a dang work of art painting on the cover. This is Thundercats. Look at the detail in that cover. Lionel walks the plank. Thundercats Adventure. And the illustrations inside, man, are they freaking watercolors? Like, look at these. So cool. Definitely look out for some of these Thundercats books if you are wanting to start collecting any of these childhood stories. This one by Regina King, illustrated by Mones. Just one name, M-O-N-E-S. Random House release. This one is from 1986. So cool. That Mask one, that one was from 1986 as well. Very cool. They're probably all kind of the same era. What was GoBots? Now I'm curious. GoBots, 1984. All right. I'll give the year on each of these just so it helps you all out as well. Next one, also amazing art on the cover. They all look like they were freaking painted. Look at that. This one is G.I. Joe Operation Raging River. This released by Marvel Books. 1987, Hasbro Inc. So many cool illustrations. Like, look at this. Look at the detail in that, man. 1987, Marvel Books. Now, I have several from this title, which is Masters of the Universe. We loved the toys, we loved the cartoon, and Golden Books made several releases. Time Trouble, which is this one. Look at all of these covers are amazing. The Trap, they look like the art that we loved on the toys, the like hand-painted art. Caverns of Fear, and The Thief of Castle Grayskull. Now, on the back of these, it features other adventures that I do not have. So on the back of this, The Thief of Castle Grayskull, I do not have the Sword of Skeletor. That looks like a cool one. I'll have to keep an eye out for. These were released in 1983, 84, 83. So I think three of them are the 83, which I have. The back, the Sword of Skeletor, is not one that I do not have. So the 84 one, which is not a part of that series, is Time Trouble. And the back of that one features Mask of Evil, which I do not have. 2 new titles, Master of the Universe Storybooks, high adventure, exciting action, spellbinding magic. Mighty heroes defend their world against the forces of evil. Man, and just to like look inside, so I think, let's look at the 83 ones. So yeah, the 83 and 84, the inside illustrations are more simplistic, kind of like GoBots did, way brighter, more color. They're still very detailed, but they're much different from like the realistic watercolors of the covers, but so cool. Makes you feel like you're inside the cartoon. Look at these illustrations, man. But I think these Masters ones in particular are just definitely very word heavy. So hopefully you have a parent reading you this when you're a kid. Otherwise, you're just loving the images, man. Look at that. Amen. But all of these, yeah, they all have the bright colors inside. A little different from the covers, but very cool. He-Man looks a little different in every one of these books. But so cool. So cool. Look at that image right there. So, Masters of the Universe, great stories. And then, of course, we showed one earlier, My Pet Monster. I Meet My Pet Monster and My Pet Monster Goes to School. These are great as well. Of course, I have a My Pet Monster. Blessed to have found him in a few years back here. Everybody wanted or loved My Pet Monster when he was released. But these books were from 1986. I think both of them, 1986, by Golden Book. Just great illustrations in here. Of course, there was also cartoons of My Pet Monster with very similar animation to the storybooks. So look for those if you're a My Pet Monster fan. Where do we go from there? Let's go into some other TV and film inspired. These two feature images from the movie. Well, actually, on the cover, they feature images in the inside. Fully illustrated. Gremlins. Gremlins, a New Friend, and Gremlins, To Catch a Gremlin. Inside, great illustrations again. The time that were spent on these children's books to illustrate these, just so cool. I mean, but yeah, there's something about these children's books from the late 80s, mid 80s into the early 90s that just bring back that nostalgia, and they were so affordable, like $1 to $2. You'd have so many of these floating around your house. Look at inside this Gremlin ones. Some little kid stuck an awesome Gremlin sticker. Gotta love that. So Gremlins, we have Silverhawks. Everybody loves Silverhawks. Great toy line, great cartoon. But this one, look at this one. It's like a novel. What kid is reading this? You know you're going to have your parent read you this at bedtime. But great illustrations in this Silverhawks book, released by Peter Pan. Another cool one, Ghostbusters. Ghostbusters Meet the Ghost Riders. Now, this one was a coloring book. So the illustrations are coloring book style, so you can actually color the story. This one's a little used. There's a couple pages actually colored. We got a Venkman colored by a little 80s kid, little Ghostbusters fan. The back featuring awesome art straight from the movie. Be a Ghostbuster and join the team. Keep a lookout for more exciting read-alongs from Peter Pan. The last ones I'll feature here today are a number of releases from our buddy Elf. Elf was our favorite Melmac alien featured in a hit TV show. These have some cool illustrations of Elf and the gang. This one's Mission to Mars, Summer Camp Adventure, A Day at the Fair, Summer Camp Adventure, A Day at the Fair, and In the Attic. Elf hanging out in the attic in one of his cool trademark Hawaiian kind of inspired shirts, camp shirts. Just some great illustrations of Elf. These are fun if you're an Elf fan. But yeah, man, these storybooks took up so much of our time as a kid, entertaining. I love having these again available in my collection. And like I said, my son loves looking through these. They're just fun. If any of these spark a memory for you, please share it in the comments. Keep an eye out for any of these that you saw today. Please comment below. And like, subscribe, hit that notification bell. Thanks again for visiting Oh I Had That. I'm Joshua. And until next time, stay soaked in nostalgia.